And if this truly is the end, then honestly, I can't think of a more honorable way to go out. But in professional wrestling, there is no such thing as a perfect retirement. Even with all the grandeur and spectacle surrounding John Cena's farewell match, his year-long final run was still affected by uninspired creative decisions, predictable matches, and a heel turn that never felt entirely convincing. Some wrestlers have come very close to perfection, such as Sting or certain AEW talents who delivered memorable endings, yet even they were not free from criticism. Sting, for example, left undefeated, but did not put over any major opponents on his way out. Others truly managed to do it right, leaving the ring at their peak and preserving beautiful memories for fans, as seen with Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. And then there are those who quietly stepped away, departing without much glory or a grand farewell at all. Join Wrestling Pro as we take a look at 10 WWE wrestling careers that ended quietly. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to watch wrestling videos every day. 10. The Ultimate Warrior. Widely regarded as the second biggest star of WWE's golden era, second only to Hulk Hogan, or, to some fans, even greater than Hogan himself. Yet ironically, such a legendary figure ended up having one of the strangest and least complete retirement journeys in wrestling history. Technically, the Ultimate Warrior retired 3 different times, and each departure left behind a sense of disappointment in one way or another. The first came at the end of 1992, when he left WWE in a semi-retired state. There was no farewell, no grand climax. Warrior simply disappeared from the ring while still being an enormously popular name. In 1996, Warrior made a surprising return to WWE under Vince McMahon's creative direction. However, the comeback was short-lived and left little lasting impact. The magic of WrestleMania 6 was never recaptured. 2 years later, in 1998, Warrior appeared in WCW, where his career took an even sadder turn. His performances there, particularly at Halloween Havoc 1998 and later at Heroes of Wrestling, are often regarded as some of the most questionable matches of his career. After that, many believed Warrior had stepped away from wrestling for good. But his true farewell came much later. In 2008, the Ultimate Warrior stepped into the ring for the final time in his career in Spain, competing for a small independent promotion called New Wrestling Evolution against Orlando Jordan. The match lasted 17 minutes for the heavyweight championship and featured all the familiar elements: a few flying shoulder tackles, a slow pace, and a victory for Warrior. According to several reports, the appearance was arranged so his daughters could see their father wrestle in person. It was a moment both touching and bittersweet, as Warrior had no longer been in the physical condition for serious competition since 1998. He left the ring, placed the championship belt on the mat, and never wrestled again. 9. Ken Shamrock. Much like the Ultimate Warrior, Ken Shamrock is a legend whose career was interrupted by numerous departures from the ring. But unlike before, his most recent disappearance may very well be permanent. He has not competed since August 2022, and at the age of 61, the chances of the world's most dangerous man having another match are close to zero. Ironically, the final match of Ken Shamrock's career took place in an extremely quiet setting. He defeated Harry Smith, the son of the British Bulldog, at an independent Battleground Championship wrestling event in Philadelphia. There were no bright lights, no live television broadcast, and no official farewell. A silent ending for a name that once commanded fear inside the ring. On the mainstream stage, Shamrock had also gradually faded from the spotlight. In 2019, he returned to TNA, entering feuds with Moose, Sami Callihan, and Eddie Edwards. Although no longer in peak physical condition, Shamrock still carried the cold intensity and aura of danger that defined his persona. However, that chapter came to a close in early 2020. Following the February 3rd episode of Impact Wrestling, Shamrock left TNA. In storyline, his character was indefinitely suspended for assaulting commentator Don West. In reality, a more significant reason was Shamrock's difficulty performing in an environment without a live audience, which eventually led him to step away from professional wrestling. Currently, Ken Shamrock holds a WWE Legends contract, an agreement that has been in place since 2020. Since then, every Royal Rumble season brings renewed fan speculation about a surprise appearance. But so far, Triple H has yet to push the button. And while hope may still linger, it's likely that Ken Shamrock's career has already come to an end. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support us. Stay tuned for more upcoming content. 8. Viscera. Or you may remember him as Mabel or Big Daddy V, one of the most unique figures in professional wrestling history. No matter the persona, Nelson Frazier always left a distinct impression. He is often regarded as one of the most underrated super heavyweights of all time. Never flashy, never pushed consistently in the long term, yet always a dangerous presence whenever he stepped into the ring. After leaving WWE for the second time in 2008, Frazier did not walk away from wrestling. He continued competing across various independent promotions in North America and found a respected role in All Japan Pro Wrestling. This period is widely seen as his final serious effort to rebuild his career and prove that he still had value in the wrestling world, even though his prime years had passed. However, attempts to return to the major stage never truly succeeded. Years of physical strain, declining health, and age made it difficult for Frazier to maintain a consistent in-ring schedule. Even so, he did have one final official match, taking place in Qatar Pro Wrestling under the Big Daddy V persona against Rene Dry. Frazier won the match, then quietly stepped away from the ring, choosing to focus entirely on improving his health and losing weight. The most heartbreaking part is that he truly succeeded. Nelson Frazier lost more than 45 kilograms, hoping to one day return to wrestling, or at least to live a healthier life. But fate did not give him more time. Frazier passed away from a heart attack before he could continue his career or make any kind of comeback. His wife, Cassandra, left behind a line that fans have never forgotten. "I guess God wanted him. I wanted him too, but God won." A sad ending for a giant of the ring. 7. Road Warrior Animal. The moment his name is mentioned, tag team wrestling fans immediately understand the level he represents. Much like Bret Hart is often called the wrestler's wrestler, the Road Warriors were the standard for tag team wrestling, a blueprint that countless teams have tried to follow, yet very few have ever truly matched. Alongside Road Warrior Hawk, Animal formed a nearly unstoppable duo. They were powerful, relentless, and incredibly athletic, and their Doomsday Device remains one of the most protected and devastating finishing moves in wrestling history. In their era, the Road Warriors didn't just win matches, they dominated their opponents. However, as a singles competitor, Animal never managed to recapture that same glory. The final tag team match featuring Animal and Hawk took place on an episode of Raw in 2003 against Kane and Rob Van Dam, a match few people remember today, but one that marked the last time the Road Warriors appeared together in a WWE ring. After Hawk's passing, Animal continued trying to carry on. He attempted to recreate the Road Warriors in various forms, most notably teaming with Heidenreich, but none of these efforts found lasting success. Animal was released by WWE in 2006, had a single match in TNA in 2007, and later made a brief WWE return in 2012 during the storyline where Heath Slater challenged wrestling legends. In his later years, Animal appeared at All In 2018 and served as an enforcer for Teddy Long in SWE Fury, a final effort to stay connected to wrestling, even though his days as an active competitor were long behind him. Sadly, Road Warrior Animal passed away in September 2020 from a heart attack before he could have an official retirement match. A quiet ending to a legendary career. 6. Kane. Or as fans have long called him, the Big Red Machine. One of the names forever tied to some of the most shocking moments in WWE history. Fittingly, the end of Kane's career unfolded in an equally unusual way. The Royal Rumble has always been a stage for surprise returns from legends, where they receive thunderous ovations from the crowd. Rarely, however, does the Rumble serve as the final match of a wrestler's career. Kane is one of the very few exceptions. At Royal Rumble 2021, Kane stepped into the ring one more time. There was no dramatic climax, no triumphant victory. He lasted less than 2 minutes before being eliminated by Damian Priest. That appearance became his final match, marking Kane's official retirement in 2021, quiet, yet definitive. Since then, Kane has not returned to in-ring competition. He has only made occasional appearances at special events, most notably during the 2021 WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. There have been no real signs of a comeback, and Kane himself understands why. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Kane openly acknowledged that his signature in-ring style no longer aligns with the realities of age. We're talking about conditioning, movement, and keeping up with the pace today. That may have passed me by. It wasn't a complaint, it was the clarity of a veteran legend. Kane understood that the image of the Big Red Machine, powerful, relentless, dominant, could not exist halfway. When he could no longer physically maintain that standard, he chose to walk away. 5. Tito Santana. Often remembered as a true gem of the golden era, Tito Santana stood out in a time filled with larger-than-life characters and flashy gimmicks. While others relied on spectacle, Santana earned his reputation as one of professional wrestling's finest craftsmen. Under Vince McMahon's banner, especially during his time as El Matador, he didn't need many words. Once he stepped into the ring, fans knew they were about to see a quality match. Tito Santana's accomplishments in WWE speak for themselves. A two-time Intercontinental Champion, a two-time Tag Team Champion, and perhaps most importantly, one of the key figures who bridged the golden era and the new generation. Santana was always present, always consistent, always reliable. Exactly the kind of performer every promotion needs. That's why the way his WWE run ended remains so shocking. Instead of a proper farewell, Tito Santana exited with an untelevised loss, jobbing to Bastion Booger and Damien Demento. No broadcast, no tribute, no meaningful closing moment. For someone who contributed so much, it has often been viewed as an unworthy ending. Fortunately, that was not the end of Tito Santana's career. After leaving WWE, Santana continued wrestling for decades on the independent circuit. Most notably, he became one of the early ECW heavyweight champions, proving that he wasn't just a relic of the past, but someone capable of adapting to an entirely new generation of wrestling. What truly surprised many fans, however, was his longevity. Tito Santana continued competing as late as 2019. At an age when most wrestlers had long since retired, he was still stepping into the ring at events such as Legends of Wrestling Detroit. 4. Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant remains one of the most iconic figures in the history of professional wrestling. Yet because of that very legacy, witnessing his physical decline in his final years was deeply heartbreaking. Andre the Giant passed away from congestive heart failure in January 1993. His final match was not a demonstration of dominance, but rather a painful reminder of the man behind the legend, someone who sacrificed his body to create timeless moments for wrestling. And for that reason, even though his ending was far from perfect, Andre the Giant's legacy endures forever. Throughout the 1980s, Andre was one of wrestling's biggest attractions, a true giant known as the eighth wonder of the world. But by the early 1990s, his massive body had begun to fail him. Andre could barely walk without the assistance of a cane, and every movement became slow, heavy, and visibly painful. Even more sadly, Andre's final appearance on American television did not take place in WWF, but in WCW at Clash of the Champions XX in 1992. This reflected the strained relationship between Andre the Giant and Vince McMahon, a divide that lasted until the end of Andre's life. According to Bruce Pritchard, Vince McMahon later expressed regret that the two were never able to fully mend their relationship before Andre passed away. It remains a somber footnote in WWF history, as one of its greatest icons departed amid distance and unresolved tension. Andre the Giant's final match took place in All Japan Pro Wrestling, and it was a difficult one to watch. The overwhelming strength and mobility that once defined him were gone, and he moved slowly, seemingly struggling against his own body as much as against his opponent. 3. Roddy Piper. It can be said that Roddy Piper never truly retired, a point that many within the industry still debate. Piper never chose a clear farewell or an official moment to hang up his boots. Instead, he simply stopped wrestling regularly, while the spirit and presence of Rowdy Roddy Piper never really left the world of wrestling. Even without consistent in-ring competition, Piper continued to appear sporadically in WWE for many years. Fans still saw him on television through projects like Legends House or segments of Piper's Pit, where his personality, mic skills, and trademark madness remained fully intact. Until his passing in July 2015, Piper was still very much a part of the WWE universe, even if he no longer competed regularly. In terms of in-ring action, Roddy Piper did not wrestle after 2011. That year, he had 4 matches of varying quality, serving as a clear reminder that time had left its undeniable mark. Piper's final WWE match came when he defeated The Miz, a symbolic victory that felt like passing the spotlight to the next generation in a very Piper way. However, Roddy Piper's journey did not end there. His true final match took place outside WWE, in Juggalo Championship Wrestling. There, Piper teamed with Cowboy Bob Orton to defeat Mick Foley and Terry Funk. It wasn't a technical showcase, but rather an emotional farewell, a final moment where four legends shared the ring one last time. Roddy Piper left without an official retirement ceremony. But perhaps, for someone like him, his career never needed a clearly defined ending. 2. Chyna. Chyna represents a unique paradox in professional wrestling. She competed in only 112 matches throughout her entire career, yet her impact surpassed that of many performers who wrestled thousands. To many fans, Chyna was more than just a wrestler, she was a symbol of breaking barriers. In an era when women in WWE were largely confined to supporting roles, Chyna shattered expectations. She entered the Royal Rumble in 1999 and again in 2000, competing directly against male wrestlers, something almost unthinkable at the time. Those moments helped pave the way for future all-women's events and laid important groundwork for what the WWE Women's Division would eventually become. Yet Chyna's story in WWE did not have a happy ending. In 2001, she left WWF under bitter circumstances amid backstage tensions. The breakdown of her relationship with Triple H, rumors surrounding Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, and disputes over pay all contributed to her departure from the company she had helped shape. After leaving WWF, Chyna sought a new path in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where she competed in 13 matches before stepping away from the ring in 2002. It seemed her career had quietly closed, until nearly a decade later, when she made a surprising return. In 2011, Chyna appeared in TNA to the shock of many fans. Her final match saw her defeat Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett, an ending that felt both shocking and bittersweet. The bright spotlight of her prime was no longer there, but the significance of her presence still resonated. 1. Randy Savage. Randy Savage was the kind of wrestler who built his entire career on match quality. Every time the Macho Man stepped into the ring, fans expected technical excellence, raw emotion, and of course, the iconic flying elbow drop. That's precisely why the final chapter of his career in TNA became such a major disappointment. When Savage joined TNA in 2004, he debuted at Victory Road. But instead of a triumphant comeback, fans were given only a few minutes at the end of the show. Dressed entirely in black, without his usual colorful attire or unmistakable Macho Man aura, Savage threw a few punches and picked up a cheap win. There was no flying elbow drop, no real match to speak of, just a faint shadow of a legend. He appeared again at Turning Point 2004, but the situation didn't improve much. Rather than building a meaningful long-term program around him, TNA quickly found itself at a standstill. Backstage reports only made matters worse. Savage reportedly made numerous demands, maintained tight control over his presentation, and even walked out of Impact tapings twice. Eventually, TNA was forced to scrap all plans involving him. And that, ultimately, was how Randy Savage's in-ring career came to an end. There was no true farewell match, no defining moment for fans to say goodbye. Had circumstances been different, Macho Man could have had a legendary send-off worthy of his stature. Instead, his final TNA run was only slightly less strange than his last WCW appearance. A bizarre 41-man battle royal on Thunder. A peculiar ending for one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And those were 10 WWE wrestling careers that ended quietly. Leave a comment below, and we'll see you in the next wrestling video.